Let's get right into it. Number 10. The crime of walking. Back in the early 1900s, streets were basically free-for-all zones. Kids played games, vendors sold food, and people walked wherever they wanted. Then cars came along and changed everything. The streets didn't naturally become car territory. It was actually a carefully planned marketing campaign by car companies. In the 1920s, cars were causing lots of accidents. Instead of making safer cars or adding speed limits, they decided to make walking the problem. They invented a new word, jaywalking. Back then, jay meant an unsophisticated country person, so they were basically calling street crossers backwards hicks. The campaign was intense. Boy Scouts handed out cards shaming people who crossed streets incorrectly. Car companies sponsored public demonstrations where actors pretended to be dangerous pedestrians. In Cincinnati in 1923, 42,000 residents signed a petition for a 25 miles per hour speed limit. The car companies panicked. Rather than make cars safer, they just blamed pedestrians harder. By 1925, Los Angeles made jaywalking illegal. Other cities quickly followed. What humans had done for thousands of years suddenly became a crime. Number 9. The Michelin star scam. In France's early automotive days, only about 3,000 cars existed. Two brothers who owned a tire company had a problem. Nobody was buying their tires because nobody was driving. So they created a genius plan. They made a free guidebook listing the best restaurants across France. The guide included maps, gas stations, and repair shops. But here's the sneaky part. All these amazing restaurants were hundreds of miles apart. You couldn't just walk there. You had to drive, and people fell for it completely. They started taking long road trips just to eat at these recommended spots. More driving meant more worn-out tires. More worn-out tires meant more money for the tire company. The scam worked so well that the brothers once found their free guide being used to prop up a workbench. That's when they realized people would value it more if they charged for it. By 1926, they started giving out stars to restaurants. Now these stars are the highest honor in cooking. Chefs literally cry when they get one, but it's still just a clever way to sell tires. Number 8. The 10,000 steps myth. During the 1960s Tokyo Olympics hype, a Japanese company wanted to sell pedometers. They called their device Manpo-K, which means 10,000 steps meter. Why 10,000? Because in Japanese, the character for 10,000 looks like a person walking. That's it. Your daily fitness goal is based on what a number looks like. This completely random marketing number somehow became the global standard for daily activity. Scientists have actually studied this and found the magic number isn't magic at all. Some people get huge benefits from just 5,000 steps. Others might need 15,000. Our bodies aren't identical machines with identical needs. But hey, at least this marketing lie accidentally got millions of people moving more. When your fitness tracker buzzes at you for not hitting 10,000 steps, remember, you're being nagged by a 60-year-old Japanese marketing campaign. Number 7. Toothpaste amount myth. Those toothpaste commercials with massive swirls of paste covering the entire brush? That's companies tricking you into using way more product than necessary. Dentists actually recommend using just a pea-sized amount. That beautiful, perfect swirl in commercials is about 4 times what you need. Companies have been using this trick since the 1950s to make you burn through tubes faster. Using more toothpaste doesn't clean your teeth better. It's like using an entire bottle of shampoo thinking you'll get extra clean. For kids, it's even worse. Too much fluoride can actually damage their developing teeth. They need just a rice grain amount. Number 6. The bacon breakfast heist. Americans in the 1920s ate light breakfasts, just coffee and maybe a roll. Then Edward Bernays shows up, working for a bacon company that wasn't selling much. He sends letters to 5,000 doctors, asking if a heavy breakfast would be better than a light one. 4,500 doctors write back saying, yeah, probably. Bernays takes these vague responses and turns them into headlines across the country. Doctors say you need a heavy breakfast. Medical experts recommend bacon and eggs. Bacon sales explode overnight. He basically invented the idea that bacon belongs at breakfast. Before him, people weren't waking up craving strips of fried pork. Today, 70% of all bacon in America gets eaten at breakfast. All because one marketing guy in the 1920s decided to play doctor. Number 5. The Great Breakfast Conspiracy. John Harvey Kellogg in 1917 started pushing the idea that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. He was basically the original breakfast influencer. In the 1940s, cereal companies launched their master plan. They created a campaign called Eat a Good Breakfast, Do a Better Job. They convinced America that skipping breakfast would ruin your entire day. They made it seem like not eating breakfast was basically sabotaging your life. But modern science tells a different story. Breakfast isn't actually more important than other meals. Sure, breakfast can be good for you, especially if you're a kid trying to focus in school. But for adults, it's just another meal. Some people do great skipping it entirely. When someone lectures you about skipping breakfast, remember, you're not breaking some ancient law of nutrition. You're just not buying into a century-old cereal commercial. Number 4. The disease of bad breath. The 1920s saw everyone panicking about a terrifying new disease called halitosis, except it wasn't a disease at all. It was just bad breath with a scary name. Listerine was originally antiseptic for surgeons, but they wanted to make more money, so they took the Latin word for breath and added osis to make it sound medical. Then they ran ads showing people whose lives were ruined by their breath. There was Edna, who couldn't get married because of her condition. Countless sad souls apparently doomed to loneliness without Listerine, and it worked perfectly. People started panicking about whether they had this made-up disease. Listerine's sales exploded. They invented a problem just so they could sell the solution. We're still using their made-up word halitosis today. Listerine didn't just sell mouthwash. They sold fear in a bottle, and people bought it by the gallon. Number 3. The razor blade arms race. Gillette in the early 1900s had a brilliant idea. Give away razor handles for almost nothing, but make sure only their special blades would fit. It's like giving away a printer for free, but charging a fortune for ink. By the 1970s, things got ridiculous. 1 blade became 2, 2 became 3, now we're at 5. Each time they added a blade, they acted like they'd revolutionized shaving. But after 2 blades, the difference is basically nothing. Adding more blades to a razor is like adding more wheels to a car. At some point, you're just being silly. Every time they add a blade, the price goes up. They're selling the idea of innovation, not actual improvement. Some people have figured this out. They're going back to simple, single-blade razors. Turns out 1 sharp blade works just fine. That fancy 5-blade razor in your bathroom? You're paying for marketing, not magic. Number 2. Diamonds are a lie. The 1930s diamond industry had a problem. Too many diamonds. These rocks aren't actually rare, but instead of letting prices drop, one company bought up all the diamond mines. Then they locked most of their diamonds in vaults to create fake scarcity. In 1947, they hired an ad agency to create the campaign, "A Diamond is Forever," 4 words that changed everything. Before this campaign, only 10% of engagement rings had diamonds. Now it's over 80%. They convinced everyone you needed to spend 2 months' salary on a rock to prove your love. A company literally invented the tradition of diamond engagement rings, and diamonds aren't even special. Scientists can make perfect ones in labs now. They're identical to natural diamonds, just cheaper. When someone says diamonds are rare and precious, you're looking at the world's most successful marketing scam. Number 1. Sugar's sweet deception. 2 groups of scientists in the 1960s were arguing about what causes heart disease. One group blamed sugar, the other blamed fat. The sugar industry secretly stepped in. They were worried people might realize sugar was the problem, so they paid for their own research. These weren't real studies. They were designed to make fat look guilty. It's like hiring a detective and telling them exactly who to arrest. The sugar companies even controlled which studies got published. They literally rewrote the story of nutrition, and it worked perfectly. Everyone started avoiding fat like poison. Meanwhile, sugar got a free pass to sneak into everything. They spent millions convincing people sugar was just energy, those low-fat products that flooded stores, packed with sugar instead. What everyone knows about nutrition? Sometimes it's just really expensive marketing. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.